Think about all the people who have succeeded despite overwhelming odds. They weren't handed an easy path. They faced rejection, failure, loss, and moments where they doubted themselves. But they didn't let those moments define them. They kept going. They found a way forward. And if they can do it, so can you. Your past does not define your future. Your current struggles do not determine your destiny. What matters is what you do next. And let's be real, there will be days when you don't feel strong, days when you feel like nothing is working in your favor. That's normal. But strength isn't about never feeling weak. It's about pushing through even when you do. It's about reminding yourself that you've survived everything life has thrown at you so far. You've had bad days before. You've had moments where you thought you would make it. But look at you. You did. You're still here. That means you're stronger than you think. Resilience isn't about pretending everything is fine when it's not. It's about facing the reality of your situation and choosing to keep going anyway. It's about understanding that pain is temporary, but quitting lasts forever. It's about knowing that no matter how dark it gets, the sun will rise again. And when it does, you'll be standing there stronger than ever, ready for whatever comes next. The past has a way of holding people hostage. It lingers in the mind, replaying old mistakes, painful experiences, and missed opportunities like a movie that never stops. It whispers doubts, reminding you of failures, regrets, and the things you wish you could change. But the truth is, no matter how many times you replay it, no matter how much you dwell on it, you can't rewrite what has already happened. The past is done. It's over. The only thing you have control over is what you do next. Carrying the weight of your past is like walking around with a heavy backpack full of bricks. Each regret, each mistake, each painful memory adds another brick, making every step harder, and the longer you hold on to it, the heavier it gets. Eventually, it drains you, slows you down, and keeps you from moving forward. But here's the thing, you are the only one who can decide to put that weight down. No one else can do it for you. The moment you choose to let go is the moment you free yourself. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting what happened or acting like it didn't hurt. It doesn't mean pretending the pain wasn't real. It means deciding that your past will not control your future. It means refusing to let old wounds keep you from healing. It means choosing to move forward even when it's hard. Because holding on to the past only hurts one person, you. The people who hurt you, they've moved on. The mistakes you made, they're already done. The opportunities you missed, they're gone. So why are you still carrying them? Why are you letting things that can't be changed steal your peace, your joy, and your future? One of the biggest traps people fall into is defining themselves by their past. They believe they are their mistakes. They believe they are their failures, but that's not true. Your past is just a chapter in your story. It's not the whole book. A bad moment doesn't mean a bad life. A wrong turn doesn't mean you can't get back on track. No matter how messy your past is, you still have the power to create a different future. But you can't move forward while looking backward. You have to make peace with what was so you can focus on what can be. Sometimes letting go also means forgiving, not just others, but yourself. People make mistakes. You've made mistakes. That's part of being human. But carrying guilt and shame forever doesn't fix anything. It only keeps you stuck. If you knew then what you know now, maybe you would have done things differently. But the fact that you've grown, the fact that you regret certain choices means you've learned, and that's what matters. Growth is the whole point. The past is like a road you've already traveled. You can't go back and change the turns you took, but you can decide which direction you head in now. You can choose to stay stuck looking at the rearview mirror, or you can focus on the road ahead. The future is waiting, but it can't fully arrive until you release what's behind you. The moment you stop letting the past define you is the moment you take back your power. The question is, are you ready to let go? One of the biggest sources of stress in life is trying to control things that are completely out of your hands. People spend so much energy worrying about what others think, what might happen tomorrow, or why certain things didn't go their way. They get frustrated when life doesn't go according to plan, when people don't act the way they expect, or when circumstances feel unfair. But the truth is, no matter how much you overthink, stress, or wish things were different, there are some things you simply cannot change. Trying to control everything is like trying to stop the ocean waves with your bare hands. No matter how strong you are, no matter how much effort you put in, the waves are going to keep coming. You can either exhaust yourself fighting them, or you can learn to ride them. The real power isn't in controlling everything. It's in knowing what to focus on and what to let go of. What you can control is how you react, how you think, and what you choose to do next. That's it. You can't control how other people treat you, but you can control whether or not you allow them to stay in your life. You can't control the challenges that come your way, but you can control how you respond to them. You can't control the past, but you can control how you let it shape your future. The moment you accept this, life becomes a whole lot easier. Too many people waste years of their lives being angry over things they can't change. They hold on to grudges, hoping it will somehow hurt the other person. They complain about their situation instead of working with what they have. They focus on what's missing instead of what's possible. But the people who truly win in life are the ones who stop trying to control the uncontrollable and start taking full responsibility for what they can. If someone doesn't like you, that's not your problem. If a door closes, that just means it wasn't the right one. If life throws unexpected challenges your way, that's just part of the journey. The only question is, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to sit around wishing things were different, or are you going to take action in the areas you actually have power over? When you learn to focus only on what you can control, stress starts to disappear. You stop worrying about whether people approve of you. You stop trying to change the past. You stop fearing the unknown. Instead, you start using your energy wisely. You take action where it matters. You work on yourself instead of trying to fix everyone else. You make the best of every situation, knowing that even if things don't go exactly how you plan, you still have the ability to move forward. Life is unpredictable. Things won't always go your way. People won't always treat you right. Plans won't always work out. But none of that has to stop you. The moment you stop focusing on what you can't control and start owning what you can, that's the moment your life truly starts to change. Happiness is something everybody wants, but so many people spend their entire lives chasing it like it's some distant thing that only happens when everything is perfect. They tell themselves, I'll be happy when I get that job, or I'll be happy when I find the right person, or I'll be happy when I have more money. The problem with that mindset is that it puts happiness in the future instead of the present. It turns happiness into a destination instead of a choice. But the truth is, happiness is not something you find, it's something you create. Too many people think happiness is based on circumstance. They believe that if they could just fix certain things in their lives, they'd finally feel good. But the reality is, circumstances are always changing. There will always be something to stress about, something that's not quite right, something that doesn't go as planned. If your happiness depends on everything being perfect, you will never be happy because life will never be perfect. The secret is learning to find joy in the middle of imperfection, to be happy, not because everything is good, but because you choose to focus on what is good. Happiness isn't about having more, it's about appreciating what you already have. There are people with millions of dollars who are miserable, and there are people with almost nothing who wake up with a smile every day. The difference isn't what they have. It's how they see life. When you constantly focus on what's missing, you will always feel like you don't have enough. But when you take time to appreciate the little things, the people in your life, the experiences you've had, the simple moments of peace, you realize that happiness has been available to you all along. Another mistake people make is tying their happiness to other people. They think if I could just find the right relationship, I'd be happy. Or if this person treated me better, I'd feel good about myself. But happiness that depends on other people is dangerous because people are unpredictable. They can change, disappoint you, or leave. If your joy is built around someone else, you give them full control over how you feel. True happiness comes when you stop depending on others to make you feel good and start finding joy within yourself. Happiness is also about perspective. Two people can go through the same situation and see it completely differently. One person sees a setback as a failure, another sees it as a lesson. One person sees a tough time as the end, another sees it as an opportunity to grow. Happiness isn't about avoiding problems, it's about how you handle them. Life will test you, but you get to decide whether you let it break you or teach you. At the end of the day, happiness is a decision. It's not something that just happens to you. It's something you have to actively choose. You have to decide that you won't let circumstances steal your joy. You have to decide that you will focus on what's good instead of what's bad. You have to decide to be grateful, to see the beauty in small things, to stop waiting for happiness and start creating it. Because the truth is, happiness isn't something out there in the future. It's right here, right now, in this moment, if you're willing to see it. Gratitude is one of the most powerful things you can practice in life. It has the ability to shift your entire mindset, change your perspective, and completely transform the way you experience the world. But the problem is, too many people overlook it. They wake up every day thinking about what they don't have instead of appreciating what they do. They focus on what's missing, what's wrong, and what they wish was different. And when you live like that, you'll never feel satisfied, no matter how much you accomplish or how far you go. Because the truth is, happiness doesn't come from getting more. It comes from being grateful for what you already have. Think about it. There are people who have everything, the house, the car, the money, the career, and they're still miserable. And then there are people who have very little, yet they wake up every morning with a smile on their face. What's the difference? It's not their circumstances, it's their mindset. Gratitude isn't about having everything. It's about recognizing the value of what you already have. It's about shifting your focus from what's lacking to what's present. Because no matter how tough life gets, there is always something to be grateful for. The problem is, most people don't appreciate what they have until it's gone. They don't value their health until they get sick. They don't appreciate a good relationship until it falls apart. They don't recognize the beauty of the little moments until they become memories. But why wait until something is taken from you to be grateful for it? Why not practice gratitude now while you still have the chance? Gratitude isn't just about saying thank you when something good happens. It's about making it a daily habit. It's about waking up and recognizing that even on your worst days, you still have reasons to be thankful. Maybe it's your family. Maybe it's your health. Maybe it's the simple fact that you have a roof over your head, food to eat, and another day to try again. Even if life isn't perfect, you can still find something to appreciate. And when you do, everything changes. When you practice gratitude, you stop taking things for granted. You start noticing the little blessings that used to go unnoticed. The warmth of the sun on your face, the sound of laughter from someone you love, the fact that you made it through struggles that once felt impossible. You begin to realize that even in the middle of chaos, there are moments of peace. Even in the toughest seasons, there are things worth celebrating. Gratitude doesn't erase challenges, but it makes them easier to bear. It reminds you that life isn't just about what's wrong, it's also about what's right. The beautiful thing about gratitude is that the more you practice it, the more you attract positivity into your life. When you focus on what you're grateful for, you create an energy that draws in more blessings. You start to see opportunities instead of obstacles. You become more patient, more compassionate, and more at peace with where you are. You stop comparing yourself to others because you're too busy appreciating your own journey. But gratitude is a choice. It's something you have to decide to practice even when life isn't going your way, even when things are hard, even when you feel like you don't have much to be thankful for. Because the truth is, gratitude isn't about having a perfect life. It's about recognizing the beauty in the life you already have. And when you do that, you start to realize that happiness isn't something you have to chase. It's been right here all along. Comparison is one of the quickest ways to steal your joy. The moment you start measuring your life against someone else's, you take your focus off your own path and start walking in the shadow of someone else's journey. And the problem with that is, no matter how much you accomplish, it will never feel like enough because there will always be someone who seems to be doing better, moving faster, or achieving more. But what you have to understand is that their success has nothing to do with yours. Their journey is not your journey. Their timeline is not your timeline. And the more time you spend looking at what someone else has, the less time you spend appreciating and building what's meant for you. The reality is we live in a world where comparison is easier than ever. Social media has made it effortless to scroll through highlight reels of other people's lives, seeing only their best moments, their biggest wins, and their happiest experiences. But what you don't see are the struggles behind the scenes. You don't see the hard work, the failures, the late nights, the sacrifices, and the self-doubt they had to push through to get where they are. You only see the finished product, not the process. And when you compare your reality to their highlight reel, it will always feel like you're falling short. But here's the truth. Comparison is unfair. You're comparing your behind-the-scenes struggles to someone else's best moments. You're looking at their chapter 20 while you're still in chapter 5. And that's not a fair way to measure progress. You wouldn't compare a seed that's just been planted to a tree that's been growing for years. So why do it with yourself? Everyone's growth happens at a different pace. Some people get their breakthroughs early, some take longer, but as long as you keep moving forward, you are still growing. One of the biggest dangers of comparison is that it blinds you to your own progress. Instead of celebrating how far you've come, you're too busy looking at how far someone else is ahead of you. Instead of being proud of your journey, you're constantly feeling like it's not enough. But the truth is, you have achieved things that someone else is still dreaming of. There are people looking at your life wishing they had what you have, just like you might be looking at someone else wishing you had theirs. The key is to focus on your own lane, to measure yourself against your past self, not against someone else. Another problem with comparison is that it creates unnecessary pressure. When you're constantly looking at what others are doing, you start feeling like you need to catch up, like you need to prove something, like you're behind. But you are not behind. You're exactly where you are meant to be. Life is not a race. There is no finish line that you need to cross before anyone else. The only person you need to compete with is the person you were yesterday. As long as you're growing, learning, and improving, you are winning. Avoiding comparison doesn't mean you ignore what others are doing. It means you learn to be inspired instead of intimidated. Instead of feeling jealous of someone else's success, use it as proof that success is possible. Instead of feeling insecure, remind yourself that their win doesn't take away from yours. There is enough success, happiness, and opportunity in this world for everyone. Someone else's blessing is not your loss. At the end of the day, you have to trust your own journey. You have to believe that what's meant for you will come in its own time. You have to remind yourself that your worth is not determined by how you compare to others. Your life is unique, your path is unique, and your story is still being written. So don't waste time trying to live someone else's life. Focus on making your own the best it can be. Because the moment you stop comparing and start embracing where you are, that's when you truly start to shine. Determination is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. It's the force that keeps you moving when everything in you wants to quit. It's the fire inside you that refuses to be put out, no matter how many times life knocks you down. Talent is good, intelligence is helpful, but determination, that's what truly makes the difference. Because no matter how skilled you are, no matter how smart you are, if you don't have the determination to keep going when things get tough, you will never reach your full potential. The truth is, anything worth having in life takes work. There are no shortcuts, no easy roads, and no magic solutions. Every person who has ever succeeded in anything, whether it's in business, sports, relationships, or personal growth, got there because they refused to give up. They faced obstacles, setbacks, and failures just like everyone else. The difference is they didn't let those things stop them. They pushed through, adjusted, and kept going, even when it was hard. That's what determination is. It's not about never failing. It's about never staying down. One of the biggest reasons people don't achieve their goals is because they quit too soon. They start with excitement, but the moment things get difficult, they back away. They let fear, doubt, and frustration talk them out of their dreams. They convince themselves that it's not meant to be, that they're not good enough, or that it's just too hard. But the truth is, the struggle is part of the process. Success is not about avoiding difficulty, it's about pushing through it. Every obstacle you face is not there to stop you, but to test how badly you want it. Think about a marathon runner. The hardest part of the race isn't at the starting line when their energy is fresh, and it's not at the finish line when the end is in sight. The hardest part is in the middle, when exhaustion kicks in, when their legs feel like giving out, and when their mind starts whispering, maybe you should just stop. That's the moment that defines a true runner. The moment they choose to keep going, despite the pain, despite the doubt, despite everything telling them to quit. Life is the same way. The journey will test you, it will push you to your limits, but if you have the determination to keep moving, you will make it to the finish line. Determination is also about discipline. It's about showing up every single day, even when you don't feel like it, even when you're tired, even when progress feels slow. Some days motivation will be high and everything will feel easy. Other days you have to drag yourself forward step by step. But success doesn't come from what you do once in a while. It comes from what you do consistently. The people who achieve great things are the ones who put in the work day in and day out, no matter how they feel. They don't wait for inspiration, they create it through action. Another thing about determination is that it requires belief. You have to believe that what you're working toward is possible. You have to believe that you are capable. Because the moment you start doubting yourself, you slow yourself down. Negative thoughts are like weights on your back, making every step harder. But when you fill your mind with belief, when you remind yourself why you started, when you refuse to let doubt take over, you give yourself the fuel to keep going. People often look at successful individuals and think they had it easy, but what they don't see is the struggle, the failures, the moments of doubt. They don't see the nights spent working when everyone else was sleeping. They don't see the rejection, the setbacks, or the times they almost gave up but chose to keep going. Success isn't about luck. It's about perseverance. It's about refusing to quit no matter how long the road is. At the end of the day, determination is the key that unlocks every door. It's what turns dreams into reality. It's what takes you from where you are to where you want to be. No matter what your goal is, no matter how big or small, the only way to achieve it is to keep moving forward. No matter how slow the progress, no matter how many times you fall, no matter how tough it gets, if you refuse to give up, you will get there. Because in the end, the only real failure is quitting. Everything else is just a lesson on the way to success. At the end of the day, everything comes down to the way you choose to think, act, and move through life. You can either let fear, doubt, and comparison hold you back, or you can decide to step into your power. You can either focus on what's missing or appreciate what you already have. You can either keep waiting for the perfect moment or start making the most of the moment you have right now. Every single day, you have the opportunity to shape your future. The words you tell yourself, the mindset you embrace, and the actions you take will determine where you end up. So remind yourself daily, you are enough, you are capable, you are strong enough to handle any obstacle that comes your way. Your past does not define you. Your challenges do not break you. You are in control of your own path. Success, happiness, and growth don't come from luck. They come from the choices you make every day. So choose to believe in yourself. Choose to move forward. Choose to rise no matter how many times you fall. And above all, choose to keep going because your story is still being written and the best chapters are yet to come. Good morning, good people. Let me tell you something. Life is a mental game before it's anything else. What you say to yourself matters more than what anybody else says about you. Every single day before you step out into the world, before life starts throwing its punches, you got to remind yourself of a few things. Because if you don't set the tone for your day, somebody else will. And trust me, they ain't going to set it in your favor. Self-worth is the foundation of everything in your life. It's how you see yourself, how you carry yourself, and how you allow others to treat you. If you don't recognize your own value, you'll spend your entire life chasing validation from other people who might not even recognize their own worth. You have to wake up every day and remind yourself that you are enough, just as you are. Not because of what you have, not because of what you do, but simply because you exist. Think about this. When a $100 bill falls in the dirt, gets stepped on, crumpled up, and even torn a little, does it lose its value? No, it's still worth $100. Your worth does not decrease just because life gets tough, just because someone hurt you, or just because you made mistakes. No setback, no rejection, no failure can take away what's already inside of you. The only way you lose your value is if you stop believing in it yourself. Too often, people tie their self-worth to external things, their job, their appearance, their success, or even their relationships. But what happens if you lose that job, if you gain a little weight, if things don't go according to plan? Does that mean you suddenly aren't good enough? Absolutely not. You are worthy no matter what stage of life you're in. You were worthy before anyone knew your name, before you achieved anything, before you had anything to show for it. That means you don't need anyone's approval to know that you matter. But here's the thing, knowing your worth isn't just about feeling good, it's about setting the standard for how people treat you. If you don't respect yourself, how can you expect others to? If you keep allowing people to walk all over you, take advantage of you, or treat you like an option, it's because deep down, you haven't fully embraced your own value. People will only treat you the way you allow them to. When you truly believe you are enough, you stop settling for less. You stop saying yes to things that drain you. You stop tolerating relationships that don't serve you. You don't need to be perfect to be worthy. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need to compare yourself to the next person. You are enough right now in this moment. Walk like it, talk like it, act like it, and watch how your life starts to change. Life is unpredictable. One day everything is going smooth, and the next you're hit with challenges you never saw coming. That's just how it works. But here's the truth. Not everybody makes it through those challenges the same way. Some people break, some people fold, and some people rise up stronger than ever. The difference isn't luck, talent, or circumstances, it's resilience. The ability to keep going when everything in you wants to quit, to push forward when the weight of life feels unbearable, to take the hit and still stand back up. That's what separates those who win from those who stay stuck. You have to understand that struggle is not a punishment, it's preparation. Every setback, every hardship, every painful moment is shaping you into the person you're meant to be. If everything in life came easy, you wouldn't grow. Diamonds don't form without pressure. Steel doesn't become strong without fire. Muscles don't build without resistance. And just like all those things, you are being molded by the challenges you face. The very things that feel like they're breaking you are actually making you. But here's the catch. Resilience is a choice. It's not something you're born with. It's something you develop. You have to decide that no matter how hard life gets, you will not break. No matter how many times you fall, you will get back up. No matter how tired, discouraged, or defeated you feel, you will not quit. Because the moment you give up is the moment you guarantee failure. But if you keep going, if you keep pushing, there's always a chance for things to turn around.